Okay, so actually in Navadvip right now, in the spiritual world, Mahaprabhu has had his meal, right? And he goes to the eastern side of Srivas Pandit's garden, and all the devotees are around him. And Sarup Goswami, Sarup Damodar is singing bhajans of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna at this very moment. So it's kind of fitting that we were chanting, because that's actually what's happening in Navadvip right now, right? It's like everything here from Krishna consciousness reflects also there. Mm-hmm. It's just, it goes along the same lines simultaneously, the timelines, right? And so because today's topic is book distribution, but I don't know if I like that topic of book distribution. I like the topic of mercy distribution, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're not just giving a physical object, right? It's not, because tons of people are giving out all kinds of crazy things, physical objects. We're not giving out a physical object. We're giving out mercy.
Mercy.
And mercy is like dynamite that blows the dam of consciousness, right? Like Prabhupada said that even by just touching a book, looking at a book, even saying no and just walking away, already the consciousness of that individual has been affected in a positive way, right? Like it's not like you're giving somebody, a magazine of I don't even know, Vogue or like something like that, or like a comic book. You're giving somebody like directly Krishna's as incarnated in a literary form. So therefore, just by touching it, they're becoming purified. So the idea is like, why do we go out and do these things? Why do we go out, Why can't we just sit at the temple and be like, I want a house by a sea and a color TV, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, like why are we going out and standing on the streets? Well, it's very simple, right? We're going out for self-purification. Like, that's all. It's like, if people come and take something, great. If people don't, okay. But we're purifying ourselves by the act of devotional service, right? We're going out to simply win Krishna's love, show something, show some devotion to him, show some idea of willingness to confront our fears, right? Because it's scary. I remember the first time I went out on book distribution, I was in Germany. And I joined in Germany in like 99, 2000. And I knew no German at all. And they were like, it was a hardcore brahmachari temple. Everyone had to go out. Everyone had to go out on distribution. I was like, I don't know any German. And they're like, tough, you're going out also. I was like, all right. And they said, well, they gave me a little like cheat sheet. And it was just like, Entschuldigen Sie bitte, ich habe dein Buch von India und Meditation und vegetarisch essen. Ich bin Monk und kleine Spender for the cost of the book. That was the only thing I knew how to say, right? I memorized it. Like it was Sastra. I memorized it, right? Nobody stopped. I think I went like a year before I distributed my first book.
No.
And I would go out every day with the devotees and distribute. And nobody would ever stop me. Nobody would ever take anything from me. But still, the act of going out purifies us, right? So I became more determined. I said, okay, instead of getting up at 3:30, let's get up at 1:30 to start chanting. Maybe that'll help. Let's read more. Maybe that'll help. So the idea of going out on book distribution was a way to increase the sadhana. And from that sense, it's all about purifying us, right? We can't do anything on our own. Like, we can't. Like, it's not us that can distribute the book. It's actually like the super soul. We're speaking to the super soul within the other person, right? We're depending on Krishna. It's not our good looks. Sorry, it's not my good looks that's going to distribute a book, It's not my cool tattoos. It's not my wonderful, flowery Sanskrit that I've memorized. It's not any of those things, right? Because people can see through it. They can see through the lack of realization. They can see through the lack of faith. They can see through all of these things on the street, right? It's just accepting the mood of the gopis and bringing people to Krishna's feet, right? Prabhupada said that book distribution is in the mood of the gopis. If you read like Radha Krishna Ganodesha Deepika, or you read some of these Rasik literature, like Vilapa Kushamanjali or Radha Rasa Sunanidhi, or all these different books, the idea is that we're taking the jiva, and all we're doing is bringing them to Radha, and then Radha is going to engage them in the service of Radha and Krishna. And that's what book distribution is. We're just simply going to people and trying to engage them further in their life. Purify their hearts. But most importantly, purify our own hearts, right? This is what happens. Cheto Darpada Majinam, we clean the heart of all the garbage that's in there. Every time somebody says no, that's another chisel at an anartha in our hearts, right? Every time somebody says, get out of my face, you guys are in a cult. I used to say, yeah, we have good dental insurance. You should join. But every time you deal with something negative, it's just chiseling a piece of that anartha out of your heart. Right? It's forcing you to confront how much faith do you really have in this? How much belief do you have in this? How much dedication, determination, how motivated are you? Like that's the beauty of book distribution is. It really puts right in our faces our belief system. It's very easy if you never challenge your beliefs. It's quite easy to always say like, oh yeah, I believe in Krishna. Nobody ever can make me walk away from this. Nobody can ever change my mind. But if it's never challenged, how can you build faith? If it's never challenged, how can you develop a deeper bhajan? If it's never challenged, how can you figure out if this is something you firmly believe in? How can you challenge those views? And book distribution does that. So we go out, and the first thing we do is we're going out just for purification, right? It's not about distributing 100 books. It's not about distributing 1,000 books. It's not about any of that. It's just about going out and being an agent of mercy of Lord Chaitanya. That's it, right? The only qualification in Kali Yuga is to be fallen. That's the only qualification to get to mercy is to just be fallen, right? It's the easiest yuga to become a devotee. Before that, in Treta Yuga and all these other yugas, you had to have all these like high qualifications, Brahminical. No, you just have to be really a bad person. Like you just have to be a normal person in Kali Yuga, which is like already kind of bad in many ways, right? Dishonest, cheating, all these different things, right? Like that's the mercy of Kali Yuga. That's why Gaurnitai is the Mahaprabhu is the Yuga incarnation, because he just freely gives to everyone. And as Vaishnavas, that we are to adopt that mood of freely giving. And again, it doesn't matter if they take a book or they don't take a book. The fact they come into contact with Krishna already plants the Bhakti Lata Bij. The seed is planted. It may be next life. It may be a week from now. It may be a couple years from now. You don't know. Prabhupada said that these books are like ticking time bombs. You never know when they're going to go off. Like you don't know. You don't know. And so the idea of book distribution is just that. It's just self-purification, and it's just about becoming an instrument of mercy with no attachment. Because then it's an offering with love. It's one of my favorite verses. Prabhupada quotes this verse so often. If you read all the letters of Srila Prabhupada, if you listen to all the lectures, the walks, you look in Vanipedia, they did a whole like breakdown of it, and it was like Prabhupada quoted. It was one of the most quoted verses that Prabhupada used was this verse, because it's teaching us it's not about numbers, it's not about collecting money. It's about offering with love and devotion, which is the key to any offering, right? You can make the nicest sandesh. Like Krishna doesn't want your sandesh. Like he doesn't want it at all. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need your sandesh. He doesn't need your burfi. He doesn't need your khichdi, my favorite thing. He doesn't need any of that stuff. What he wants is your love. And that can only be given by putting yourself out there. It's scary. It's scary to go out on book distribution. It is. I'm not going to lie and be like, it's scary. You're going up to random people and be like, hey, I have a gift for you that'll change your life, right? And then you have to wait for their reaction to that. And that's scary because you don't know how they're going to react. You may get punched in the face. You may get something thrown at you. You may get somebody who's amazing. You might be like, oh, I've been looking for this your whole life. It's really like this unknown that keeps us from engaging in this service. It's that fear and reciprocation from Krishna, right? We all like to say, oh yeah, I believe in Krishna. Krishna, me and Krishna, we're down. We're boys, you know, we're friends. I believe in this process fully, right? But then we don't want to, we're scared of that reciprocation. And so therefore we keep from engaging fully in the process. And part of the process is to become purified. I can't tell you how to distribute books because there is no way. Like there's like things you can do, things you can't do, but ultimately you have to look internally. Like I always talk about this one Prabhupada disciple, Brigupati Prabhu. If you've ever met Brigupati is amazing. He's a Prabhupada disciple. He's been distributing books for like 50 years. He's like probably in his 70s now. He still goes out every day and distributes books. And he does huge. Mm-hmm. Like Brigupati does like, I think like 100 books a day sometimes, like almost 200 books a day at times. Like Brigupati Prabhu is huge. And his approach to book distribution is so amazing because if somebody doesn't take a book, he doesn't say like, well, screw you, you didn't take a book. No, he looks internally and he's like, did I chant good rounds today? Did I read well? Did I absorb myself in my sadhana? Why couldn't I get them to take Krishna? And he uses it as a reflection of his process, right? Like that's like you see the best book distributors, whether it's Navina or some of these guys in America or Guy Pataka Maharaj, who I don't know how he does it. He distributes like 1,000 Gitas in one sitting. You know, just it's like Oprah Winfrey. You get a Gita, you get a Gita, you get a Gita. Everybody gets a Gita. I don't know how he does it. But you see, it's all like based on internalizing the process. And from that internalization of the process, we develop the strength, we develop the realization, and we develop the purity that's necessary to be able to touch other souls, right? Tulsi Das says in the Ramchit Manasa, a very good book, he says that if somebody has pure intentions, when they speak kata, which distributing books is speaking kata, you are talking philosophy, you're talking pastimes. If the person it says advanced, but we'll even go with if somebody is trying and they're speaking purely the message, it enters immediately into the right ear of the person and immediately it has the ability to destroy every anartha in the heart. This is what it says in the Ramchit Manasa. So what's stopping us? Us. Right? You see people out on book distributors. Sometimes they look so miserable. It's like Rupa Goswami says, devotional service is supposed to be joyfully performed. I was one of those guys that looked out there like I was being marched to my death by being out on book distribution. It was like I looked miserable. Nobody would come and stop and talk to me. If I looked at myself, I'd be like, "Oh, I wouldn't stop this. No way, no." Because the process is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be joyful. It's supposed to be all these things. But to have that understanding, one has to go deeper into their sadhana. So, what's the first thing? Sadhana. Strong sadhana, distribute books. Not just distribute books, but strong sadhana gives us the realization necessary to be able to talk to people. Right? There's a difference between quoting verses and just throwing verses out there and be like, yeah, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadara Pradijam Mama comes to number. There's a difference between just like reciting like a parrot and reciting something from the heart with realization, with pain. Right? Distributing books or preaching in general, giving people Krishna in general, it's about taking the pain that you experience in this material world, right? It's about taking that pain and translating it in a way that you don't want anyone else to have to experience that pain ever again. And that's why we give people Krishna. We take our life experiences, like, I look at my life, I grew up beaten as a kid, was thrown out of my home at 13, joined the army at 17, became a devotee, then was in South Africa as a temple president, traveled away, and even during that time, I still had lots of pain, lots of issues that I was going through. And so I tell myself, like, am I really preaching am I really trying to give people Krishna? Because the word preaching I'm not really into. It sounds like we're evangelistic Christians that are trying to, like, make people, if you're not one of us, you're going to hell, which is not, like, is not the case. So I really kind of try to get away from that term, because I feel like preaching has such, like, a negative connotation in today's society. I would say it's like giving love, giving mercy. We're a mercy movement. We're not a preaching movement. We're a mercy movement, right? So we take that pain that we experience, and then we use that as fuel for realization. Like, why would I want you to experience the horrors that I've experienced in this material world? So therefore, because I do not want you to have to suffer, to have to feel the loneliness, to have to feel the way that I was felt unloved. And therefore, I'm going to come out and I'm going to try and give you that love. I'm going to try and cure that pain. I'm going to try and protect you from that pain by giving you Krishna. So, I mean, for me, that's what it is. It's just about giving people a way to escape the loneliness of the material world. The material world is lonely. It's a lonely place. It is lonely. It's like relationships are shallow, very, like, surface level. People just want to get something from you, and as soon as they get from you, they drop you, right? Like, everybody's after something. The Vaishnavas are the ever well-wishers. Gopal Kumar says in the Brihad Bhagavatamritam that the term ever well-wisher means that you have to be you want the best for every living entity, right? That's what real humility means, Gopal Kumar says, to become the ever well-wisher of every living entity in this world. And how do we do that? By giving others Krishna. Not in some, like, Catholic Church type of way, or, like, no, by capturing people through our transparency, capturing people through our ability to be vulnerable, capturing people by our ability to be real, right? To not put up this front that, yes, I'm a devotee, yes, I got it, no problem. Me, I'm happy as anything. No, I guarantee you, you're not. I'm not happy about everything in this world, right? And people resonate with that. The people are tired of being, like, made to feel like they're the only one going through something. They want to feel like others experience what they've experienced. They want to feel that others can relate to their pain. They want to experience that others can relate to their frustrations, their loneliness, their disappointment. And what better way to do that than somebody who believes in a blue guy that has a bunch of girlfriends and hangs out with cows? Like, it's so far out that it's like, yeah, if you can believe in that, then you must have something. Right? It's like, Krishna consciousness is such an amazing process, because it takes us, and it takes us from the depths of the suffering of the material ocean and brings us to the highest consciousness of love of God. Right? But unless we bring others with us, then we're just misers. When I was initiated, my spiritual master told me, he said, there are two types of people. a Kripana and a Brahmana. A Brahmana is one that gives just gives away spiritual knowledge. Just gives it to everyone he comes in contact with. And a Kripana keeps it to himself. My money, my this, my that, We don't want to, if we keep Krishna consciousness to ourselves, we're nothing more than a Kripana. Confirmed. Confirmed. Right? Krishna confirmed it. I'm calling it. Krishna confirmed it. So, I wish I could tell you that if you do follow this formula, you'll distribute millions of books. No, it doesn't work like that. Right? It's just the flowing of mercy. Some days you'll have good days, some days you'll have bad days. Some days you'll meet really nice people, some days you won't. You'll meet some really bad people, right? But everyone is eligible for the mercy. When in December, I remember one December marathon in Germany, I only distributed books in the red light district. Because I was and everybody took. All the prostitutes, they took books and gave amazing donations, and they were so you would think people that are doing this kind of profession would not be really interested in this, but they were like, oh yeah, okay, I'll take a book, no problem. Here's a donation. We have to adapt this mood that everybody is qualified to get the mercy. We have to be prepared to go through heaven and hell to give it to people. And then once we give it, it's once we come in contact, we've done our part. Now it's up to the super soul to do their part. In my younger days as a devotee, I think I was much more fanatical, right? I didn't distribute. This person didn't take a good donation, oh no, we can't have it. I think now in my maturity, and I'm 50 now, so I think more now. And I turned 50 just recently. I think and after practicing for over 25 years, I think now I see that it's all about just giving out the mercy. We're just conduits of mercy. That's it. Prabhupada said one of the most important verses in the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita is what? Tadi Deka Tarakar Krishna Upadesh. Wherever you go, preach Krishna consciousness. Right? He said that's the most important verse in the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's what Prabhupada says. And we just have to adopt that mood. Right? We just have to want to do it. Like Nike said, just do it. That's it. You just have to do it. The only thing that's stopping you is you. It's the only thing that's stopping us from engaging in the process is ourselves. It's not Instagram. It's not work. It's not. It's just ourselves. We have to be determined. I sometimes I think back. I try to get away from the whole preaching in Iraq thing during the war. I try to get away from it because it's quite traumatic, seeing people die and then you help them leave their bodies with shalagram on their head and all this stuff. It's quite traumatic. But those times I think I learned a lot about determination and how the only person we can depend on is ourselves. Right? We can't depend on, as wonderful as Rati Manjari Goswamini is, the only thing we can't depend on Rati to get us out, to give out the mercy, right?
Hell to the no.
Yeah, we can't depend on anybody but ourselves. We have to become self-sufficient in our Krishna consciousness. And the only way to become self-sufficient is through a deepening of bhajan, a deepening of sadhana, a deepening of seva. Then we nourish ourselves. And then again, the realization comes to be able to talk to people and give them real realization, heart-changing realization, right? Look at Prabhupada. Prabhupada was able to get all kinds of crazy people into Krishna consciousness, not based off a saying, not based off of telling them what they wanted to hear. No, it was all based off of the depth of his realization and the volume. I like to say volume because Shraddha, it's like a big, bowl, right? Shraddha is like a big bowl. So as we develop in the process, that bowl fills up more and more and more, and then eventually the bowl overflows. our shraddha overflows, and then we can affect other people, right? It's like it's just natural. As something spills, if I'm sitting next to you and something spills, well, you're going to get it on you too. So through the process of Krishna consciousness, we're able to actually change lives. But to do that, we have to engage in an honest, key there, honest way, right? Free of guilt, free of fear. Like, oh, if I don't chant my rounds today, Krishna's going to be mad at me. No, that's not real. That's just a Western misconception about spiritual life. Krishna doesn't care. He's not like an old guy with little naked angels flying around like helicopters, reminding him that he's God because he doesn't know anymore, and he has a computer, and he's like, oh, Control H, you're going to hell. No, that's not like, Krishna doesn't have fear. He doesn't give us like fear. He doesn't give us guilt. Right? Like, this is just a Western concept, right? But if we do these things, we can easily change the world, right? But we have to start with ourselves. So my advice would be, since we're going to go on the marathon and we're going to distribute lots of books, I think that everybody should just make a promise not to distribute lots of books, but to deepen their sadhana and to deepen their seva, and in that way develop detachment. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, just as fire is covered with smoke, every endeavor in the material world is covered with fault. There's fault in everything we do. Even going out on book distribution, there's stuff we do right or wrong. We say things right or wrong. We upset people. Like, there's fault. It's the material world. It's impossible to escape it. It's just how it is. It just comes with the territory, right? And we just go out and we just say to Krishna, like, here I am. I'm your instrument. Do with me what you want. I'll try my best. I'll put my full faith in you, my full trust into you. I'll chant these rounds with trying to connect to you. And please, if you feel like it, maybe you can just throw some mercy my way so that I can be able to help someone else. And that's actually, I think, the best way to approach book distribution. Is if we approach in this way, it's the mode of goodness. If we're going and approaching like, I'm going to distribute 1,000 books, like what are you attached to? Are you attached to the number of books, or are you attached to Krishna? I would say the number of books. It's more ego. It's more like in the mode of passion. But if you're going and you're saying, no, I'm just do it me as you like. If you want me to distribute thousands of books, okay, great, I'll do it. If you want me to distribute none, I'll still go and do it. If you want me to distribute one, okay, whatever, Krishna, just engage me. And this is the mood of the gopis. Engagement. Engaging. Right? Any questions? I could tell you, like, say this or say that, but it doesn't work.
I have a question.
Yes, and I probably don't have an answer, but let's try it.
Srila Prabhupada said, I've heard it many times. I hope it's true. It's embarrassing otherwise. Quality is quantity in distribution.
Yeah. It's not about, it's like...
He said that quality is quantity?
Yeah, it's not about like...
Did he say actually? Do you know that?
No, I've heard that too. I heard it from Tripurari Maharaj.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's 100% true. It's like, look, if Krishna wants, everybody in the world can become Krishna consciousness just like that. But he doesn't want that. He wants you to have the choice to make that decision to go towards him, right? So what does that mean? Quality, quality is quantity. It's like, it means that it's better to distribute one book in an honest, loving way that's able to affect somebody, that is from deep realization, that is able to not only affect the other person, but also affect yourself too. As you're distributing the book, it's not that it's a transaction, a spiritual like food, basically. Like, you're transacting, you're giving them something and they're giving you something. What are they giving you? They're giving you more shraddha. They take a book and you get faith. You're like, oh yeah, hey, you took a book. Yeah, now I can take it. Well, let's try this again. Let's see what happened. And I agree. It's like, I think I had that time when I was attached to numbers. I think one year I came in like second in Europe in book distribution. I think in like 2014 or no, 2012 or something. And it was just every day I was just so focused on doing like 100 books a day or like 150 books a day. And it was like, I didn't care who I stopped. Oh yeah, you want a book? Here you go. And I think now that it was like the quality wasn't there. It was just about my ego, and it was just about my wanting to win or wanting to be known as a book distributor. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Actually, I have the same question, but another question. What is better, to ask for a donation or to give for free?
Well, I think, I have always approached Krishna consciousness or book distribution in this manner, right? You can do two things. You can do it one way, which is like just go buy a case of books and give them out to whoever you want, and not worry about having to get a donation. Like, that's one way to do it. I think that's probably an easy way for people that are a little bit like fearful of book distribution. It's like there's you don't have to feel weird asking somebody for money, because it is weird. You're like, hey, I'm just a random guy on the street. Give me some money, right? Like, I always came to the way I approached it was always like, it'll balance out. Like, somebody will give 20, somebody will give 5, somebody will give 1, somebody will give 50, somebody will give this. It'll all balance out eventually. I mean, as long as you can come close to covering BBT, sure. But I always took everything as like an individual. Like, I remember I took all the devotees out on book distribution in Radhadesh when I was living there. And like some cancer patient, like stopped us at first. Well, we stopped him and he was like, get away from me. I don't want nothing to do with you guys. And I was like, oh, it's okay, man. Like, have a good day. He's like, oh, what do you got? Oh, we got these books. It doesn't look like you're happy. Maybe this will make you a little happier, right? Just read one page. That's it. He's like, oh, I don't have any money. Yeah, just take it. Then later he came back and he told us he had cancer and he was like going through chemo and everything. And, oh, yeah, just take the book. You're on death's door anyway, buddy. Might as well take it. Like, so I think that's I mean, you can do it either which way. Personally, I think that's why I think the idea of sponsoring books is better, because it eases. That's the biggest hang up that devotees have about going out, is the money aspect. Because it's really not nice. I mean, you want to get something, but it's really like you're walking a razor's edge. It's like, maybe. I've always just taken it person by person, because I also know that there are people that have joined Krishna consciousness by finding a book in a bookstore. That somebody bought the book and then didn't want it and just threw it in a bookstore, and then they found the book on the bookshelf and they were like, okay. Or other people, they've gotten books, like their parents bought books off of a devotee, and then they got books and then they found it on a shelf and was like, oh, what's this? And they joined. Like, these books, you never know what's going to happen with them. So I always say, like, just I don't know, listen to the super souls. Yeah. I'm not saying give out everything. Oh, you can. Just buy a case then. And then you could just you could do whatever you want with them. You could just put them in the supermarket. And like hide them in Albertheim. And like behind stuff. Like, with a little sign on it, take me. Like, you could, there's all kinds of like things you can do. There's no there's no like really hard and fast rules to book distribution. Vaisheshika Prabhu, he sent me these like smart boxes in Iraq, and I would set them up, and basically there was just like a book rack, and people could just take books and throw money in a little thing. But I was like, well, just who cares? Just if you want to take the books, take the books. Just by holding them, you get advancement. Of course, I bought the books, so I didn't have that stress of like having to, make sure I collected. But it's up to you, right? Like I said, the only thing that's stopping you is you. If and I'm just using you in general because you just answered the question. If your hang up is about going out on books is the money, then just go buy a case. then you could, like I said, you could do whatever you want with them. Put them on people's windshields. You could just go crazy, right? Because that fear is now gone. So now what's the excuse? It's your lack of shraddha or determination.
My issue with this is like devotees distribute stickers, and then we go before the devotees go back, and then we see them jogging out on the street and walking on them.
I don't think stickers. I think it like books.
No, but also with books it happens.
Yeah, it
see
happens.
them in the garbage, and I save them from the garbage.
But you can only do so much. Again, we're not the doer. You can only do so much. What's to say that somebody who pays money for a book doesn't throw it away either? Like it's like once it leaves your hand, it's like you can't. We're not the doers. We can only do so much. We can't sit there and be like, are you taking care of it? Showing up at their window, looking in. Hey, where's that book? See, you can only do so much. We have to be detached a bit also. Yes?
I have a
She will
question.
speak in Dutch and I'll
Okay.
I
translate for
speak
her.
it in Dutch and she will translate it.
Oh, that's perfect because my
Okay.
Dutch is non-existent.
Op straat kom ik iemand tegen voor Bookdistribution. Hoe benader ik deze persoon?
So when she encounters a person on book distribution, what does she say? What does she need to do?
Like I said, I had
Some examples.
Yeah, no, I can't give my example. My examples are quite weird. So, like I was a bit strange. But I did distribute books with a friend of mine, Jayananda. He was American. And we were in Germany. He'd wear this giant sombrero, right? You know what a sombrero is? He'd wear this massive, giant sombrero. And he would just go up to people and go, hey! And then they would just stop. And he would like, because it's like this white dude in a pink robe with a giant hat. It's like, and then he would distribute like that. That's how he would approach him. It would be like a total icebreaker, you know? It's what you're comfortable with. It's what inspires you. You could just go to people and be like, hey, are you happy? Can you be happier? Everybody could be happier.
Can you be happier?
Yeah, everybody could be happier, right? Life isn't Instagram and Facebook, you know. Though on Instagram and Facebook, everybody looks amazingly happy. No, life is not like that. So, it's again, as you go out and you do the service, you start to develop like what you want to say. It's like trial and error. You just start developing like everything. It's not that there's like one mantra you can say that's going to work every time. I've said all kinds of weird things to people to get them to stop, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes people yell at me, and sometimes it's just like you got to be detached. But I guess I would say hi. I would say hi. Hey, are you from here? You know, especially in Amsterdam, there's a lot of tourists, especially during Christmas time. Then you can use that. But you'll figure it out as time goes on. The main thing is to have faith. The words aren't what's distributing the book. Like let's get it like don't, as we say in America, don't get it twisted. Like don't get it like understand. It's not the words you're using that's distributing the book. Right? People can see through you. They can see if you actually believe in what you're doing. So if that faith there is not there, if that shraddha is not there, then nobody will take anything. Because why should they if you don't believe in it yourself? Right? If you don't have the depth of shraddha, people will see right through it. And they're going to be like, why should I take this from you when you don't even believe in it yourself? It's like, it's just how the world works. Like people on the streets, they can see right through everything. Like most people aren't stupid. Well, majority, depending on political leanings, I guess. We can say that, but majority of the people they'll see right through all the fake. That's why I always tell them just speak from the heart, because that people will resonate with. If you go there trying to sound like a pundit, quoting Sanskrit, these people will be like, "What's this dude talking about?" Like I don't speak that language. Like what is he talking about? Like it doesn't resonate. You have to find ways to connect to people. It could be like. My favorite was when I used to distribute books in Atlanta, because they have a baseball team, the Atlanta Braves. I like baseball, right? I'm a New York Mets fan personally, because I grew up in New York, so I'm a Mets fan. Down with the Yankees. Don't like them. So the Yankees are like, ooh, Sahajias. We're not into the Yankees. No. So, but every time I would distribute books in Atlanta near the Braves baseball stadium, I would wear a Braves hat and be like, go Braves, and then they'd be like, yeah, and I'd stop and talk to them and be, hey, I have these books. You have to find ways to connect to people, but the key is the faith, and that only comes from strong sadhana, deep bhajan. That's how you develop faith. It's not words that distribute books. It's Shraddha that distributes the books. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu, I have one more question.
Sure.
People often ask, you Hare Krishna, you have this book are religion books, or how do you handle that?
It's not. It can't be a religious book. Krishna says himself in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharma Pradijam. He says abandon all varieties of religion.
But often
it's a scientific study of the soul. That's what Prabhupada says. It's a scientific study of the nature of the soul. Or if you want to get new agey, it's a yoga process, which is true. You're not lying. Like you're taking the misconception of what Krishna consciousness is. Everybody thinks you're a religion, that you're trying to change people. Actually, Prabhupada said we're not trying to change anybody. We're just trying to get people to bring aspects of Krishna consciousness into their life. Prabhupada said, who was it? Brahmananda once said to Prabhupada, he was preaching in a Muslim country, yeah, they say Allah, 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 and Prabhupada's like, so what's the problem? Right? They could still say Allah, Allah, Allah and apply Krishna consciousness. It's not about changing, it's about adding into people's lives. You should really read the room conversations with Prabhupada and like the Catholic priests. They're really fascinating because Prabhupada is really explaining Krishna consciousness in a way quite stern, but also saying like we just add this. Like that's it, just adding it. It's like anything else. Don't you want to? Okay, you believe in Jesus. Don't you want to believe in him a little bit more, a little bit better, right? But again, it's the misconception. Do you believe that Krishna consciousness is a scientific study of the soul? Do you believe that?
Yes.
Okay. How much do you believe it? Yeah. See.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you believe it, like
strong belief.
Yeah, you have to have strong belief to try and convince somebody else that what you have is worth their time. Again, it comes back to this Shraddha. Right? And the only way to develop that Shraddha is to constantly challenge that Shraddha. Right? If you stay in your little happy Hare Krishna bubble, right, you don't make advancement because it's easy to have this belief that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that like it's easy to have all these beliefs if they're never challenged. The challenging is what's necessary to deepen and develop those beliefs, and that's what book distribution is in that sense. That's what I mean. It's not just these people are getting the mercy. It's also you are growing as a Vaishnava, as a sadhaka. And that's... So, do you believe it? I can't answer that. Only you can answer that. And so, it's easy. It's not a religion. Krishna is showing the Gita. Krishna says it right there in the Gita. It's black and white. He says, abandon all varieties of religion. Well, I mean, that just kills that whole argument. It's a scientific yoga process. Reconnecting the original nature of the soul to devotional service to Krishna. Or Allah, or Buddha, or Yavi, or Jesus, whatever.
Wie distribueert...
You can say it in Dutch. It's okay.
Er zijn zoveel boeken. We verspreiden heel veel boeken van Bhagavad Gita tot het boek van Chaitanya Mahaprabhu en andere. In al die boeken is het uitgelegd wat is eigenlijk de ziel. Want als we zeggen, ja, het is een scientific book, study of the soul, maar is dat ook in ieder boek dat uitgelegd?
So she's saying there are so many books that we are distributing. Is that saying that it's the science of the soul? Is that for every book?
I mean, pretty much, yeah. I mean, every book follows under Krishna consciousness philosophy. Even everything, like even if you read Krishna book, there's lessons in there that are philosophical lessons, even though Prabhupada writes it in a way that it's written like a novel. Like there's no Sanskrit, there's no Devanagari, there's no commentary. It's just written like a novel. Prabhupada wrote it like that. But even that has philosophy in it. But easier than to, it's so many books, it's overwhelming. Just pick one book that you can relate to. En dan take that.
Boek kiezen wat u bij u vindt passen.
Ja.
Maar over alle boeken in Prabhupada, Prabhupada geschreven staat wel eigenlijk over de ziel en de basic lessons staan er wel.
Yeah, just pick one book that talks to you. And then you take that book and you're like, because you can relate to that book. And then you can take that book and then you can give that to other people. Yes.
Now we have this Path to Perfection book.
It's a great book.
Because I think it's quite a difficult book for people for the first time.
Yeah. I loved it. Yesterday I started reading it again, like the first 2 chapters. So I was in my step of complete ignorance, and then I was like reading the book, and I was like, I'm studying the science of the soul. So then somehow or other, like yoga, for me, I felt like, and the book was like really relevant to the people. So maybe you.
Okay, maybe I should.
No, but I think, I think that's like we all resonate with different aspects of Krishna. If we all resonated with the same aspect of Krishna consciousness, how boring would Krishna consciousness be? We would all just look the same, talk the same, act the same, do the same puja, do the same seva. It would be like there would be no that would be like. There would be like no kind of bhav. It would just be like no taste. It would just be like robotic performance of devotional service. So yeah, you're into that book. Like you like that book. My favorite book to distribute, well, besides the Gitas, was like Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Yes. I was like one of my favorite books to distribute. You put me out there with a couple of cases back in the days and I'm happy as anything. Just to distribute that book. Or Krishna book was also my other favorite.
But what if, for instance, we are doing a marathon or a new book is coming out, that's just translated, and it's a book that doesn't completely resonate with me, but we are doing this marathon with this particular book, then what do I do? Is it just my lack of faith?
No. I mean, we can beat you down, Chichaleka, and say it's your lack of taste. We can say, no. It's like we're individuals. We all resonate. But what you can do? One of my favorite things to do on book distribution was, I would give them one book, and then as I was talking, give them another book on top of that one, and then another one on top of that one, and then by the time they look down, there's like 6 books there, and then they pick which one you like, which one speaks to you, right? It's like, you're trying to distribute something. A book that has just been printed, but you have to be detached. Like it's not everything is like what you want or what resonates. You also have to be willing to what don't you like? Do you not have faith in the book? Do you not like you have to look and internalize it and see why am I not attached to distributing this? Don't throw it onto other people. That's so lazy to throw it onto other people that it's their lack of taste that they don't want this book. Or, no, it's your lack of understanding. I'm not picking on you, but just like it's in general, it's like our lack of understanding of the book, our lack of connection with the book, our lack of attachment to the book. And that's why we're like, well, I can't distribute this book. Well, why not? Look internally. No, really, I would tell you, sit and meditate on it. What is it that you're not connecting to? Mm-hmm. And then figure it out. Dive deeper. Pray to Gornitai. Hey, I'm trying to do this book. Help a brother out. Help me out. Use me as the mercy. I'm down with that. So I think that's that's that aspect we have. Often we like to say, well, that guy just didn't want to take a book. And that's why I really like Brigupati Prabhu's approach of book distribution, of looking internally and seeing what we're doing and not putting it onto the other person. So, It's like that. There were books I didn't like distributing too, but I just distributed it anyway.
Yes.
You know?
There was a problem we had a Harinaams and Kirtan in Den Haag, and we were distributing books. And when I approached them, well, I could not sell any books, but then I was a little bit frustrated because that aspect of money. But if I give away, don't ask anything, that feel easier to do that. But then that problem of money, that's something, sometimes it frustrated me. If I give the books away, I can give it thousands of books away. If I ask money, well, they say no. If I give them away, well, it's easier.
Well, I mean, you're in the Netherlands. The Dutch are famously, cheap. I mean, I've seen some cheap people in the world. The Dutch really like take it to a whole nother level. Like, I'm sorry, like, I mean, I've seen some cheap people in my life, but the Dutch, they'll demand a tikkie for like 10 cents. They're like, I'll ticket you. I'm gonna send you a tikkie for that 10 cents. It's like the Dutch are the Dutch,
Yeah,
like,
that's true. So
it's
Germany is other. Germany they give you. They give you more 5.
The Dutch.
euro, 10 euro. They
No,
give you.
but again, it's like if the money thing is causing such anxiety, then just buy some books yourself, and then it removes that anxiety. But then you talk to people, and you see if they're worth. Not everybody is worth getting a free book, right? It's not like we just like Oprah Winfrey. In America, we have Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey was famous for like giving stuff out. Like, she'd be like, look under your seats. You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. No, we don't do that. It's not like you get a book, and you get a book, and you get a book for free. No, you have to be able to, like, if the person is really, really genuinely interested, then give it to them. Right? But if you see that they're not so interested, then you say, okay, no problem. Quality over quantity. Right? We're looking for the quality. You have to get out of the mindset of like, I need to distribute thousands of books. No, you just need to try. And whatever gets distributed, gets distributed. You're not the doer. I'm not the doer. He's not the doer. He's not the doer. She's not the doer. Rati Manjari Goswamini is not the doer. Like, you have to approach it like that. Not everybody should get a free book. Just use your intelligence. Krishna is the source of all intelligence. You can tell if somebody's generally interested. Yes?
How do you know if a person deserves a free book or a paid one?
Well, you talk to them. Like just like I'm talking to you. You talk to them and you listen to them. And then the Krishna will tell you in the heart, well, yeah, this person should just take it. It's okay. Krishna will reciprocate with you as the super soul. He'll say, okay, he'll give you that feeling where he'll be like, okay, no, it's okay. Thank you anyway for your time. Or he'll say, he'll inspire you to give that book. That's a great question. Thank you.
Yes, what we try is, we say to them, we need some money for printing and so, and you can give whatever you want by her. And if they really don't have money, then you can give it.
But you have to like discriminate.
Yeah.
It's like, are they just saying that because they're not interested? They're like, no, I don't got any cash. It's like, okay, like then, or if they're, you have to really like, that's where the ability to connect with the other person is there. You have to be able to like really connect with them to get an understanding of where they're at.
Yes.
It like book distribution. The reason why book distribution is so hard, it's because it challenges the false ego. Like, that's the first thing. We all think we're amazing until that one guy yells at you on book distribution. Then you don't feel that way anymore, right? Like, it challenges the false ego, but also it forces us to try to connect to people that we have no idea who they are. Like, it really forces us to try to connect to the super soul in the other person. Like, we're meditating on that. Like, and that's all you could do. You could just try, but you have to, the main thing is get them to hold the book at least. Or even look at the book. Right? Then that's already a win. You know? Again, we have to get out of the idea of like thousands of books and just like, I'm not the doer. Pray to Krishna. Krishna, send me a lot of cool guys today. All right, I'll send you whoever you want. And sometimes it happens like that. Sometimes the floodgates open, and like it's like every book goes out. I mean, if you've been in the movement for a while and have done book distribution, you've had days like that where it's like you can't even keep the books in your hand. They just fly out of the trolley. Like next thing you know, the whole trolley's empty. You did like 100 books. You're just like, where did all this come from? So, you know, we should just beg the mercy of Gornitai and be detached and speak to the super soul. Don't speak to the person. Speak to Krishna within the heart. That's who we're trying to reawaken. The super soul. We're trying to cut through Maya. Not just cut through Maya. We're trying to cut through like lifetimes and lifetimes of anarthas. We're trying to cut through like false ego. You know how hard that is? Imagine how hard it is to cut through your own false ego. Then trying to cut through some other random guy's false ego that doesn't even know you. Like, it's really... That's why I say, like, the best way to distribute books is to have such a deep sadhana, strong sadhana. Because that Shakti, you know, Kali Kalera Dharma Krishna Nama Sankirtan, Krishna Shakti Vinanahe Tara Pravatana, that only one who is empowered by Krishna can distribute Krishna, like can give Krishna. You have to be empowered. And how do we become empowered? Chanting good rounds, reading nicely, doing Thakurji Seva, you know, Seva to Thakurji, to the deities. In that way, we develop that Shakti.
Like Prabhupada himself does it, yes.
Yeah, Prabhupada showed it. It's purity is the force. Prabhupada said that often. Purity is the force. People, like I said, I keep on coming back to this point. People can see right through you. Right? You have 5 minutes to convince somebody what you have can change their lives. And if you don't think that they can see through you in that 5 minutes, just as you can see through them, like you're living in an alternate reality. Like immediately they can see right through you. So it's important to have that deep sadhana, that deep shraddha. It's like shraddha is so important. Like you have to be, like when I talk about deep shraddha, I'm talking about like you have to be willing to walk through hell if it means saving one person. Or even saving is a bad word. Reconnecting one person to Krishna. And again, we're not evangelistic Christians, you know, nobody's going to hell. It's just worst comes worst, they take another birth. You know, it's like, I mean, for some people it doesn't matter. Okay. But that's like the level of shraddha. You have to have a deep, deep shraddha. That's why the sadhana is so important. It's like you have to chant. And not just like, you know, finish and then throw the beads across the room. Okay, I'm done. We're done. Let's get on Instagram now.
Yeah.
Or my favorite, right? My absolute favorite thing in the Vaishnav world now is I'm so absorbed in the holy name. Selfie. You know, it's like this is all like such a like ridiculous, shallow. So think about that. If like we're willing to like set up a selfie of ourselves chanting, is that deepening our faith in Krishna? No, it's not. It's like so superficial, and people will see right through that. Like, we sometimes take non-devotees for granted. Sometimes we think they're just stupid people. They're actually super intelligent, and they're super connected to the world through, you know, everybody's on their phone constantly. And they know, they can see, like they can sense if somebody has it and somebody doesn't have it. That's why Prabhupada was so successful. Because people just saw Prabhupada. They're like, he has it. And they were willing to like surrender on the spot to him. Because they could see like this person has it. Right? We have to become that. We have to want that kind of, where people see us and they're just like, I'm surrendering. Yes, I want what this guy has. So, bhajan. No, bhajan is important. We don't put enough emphasis on bhajan. Prabhupada said, health, bhajan, and then preaching. Because without good health, you can't engage fully in sadhana. Without a strong sadhana, you lack the realization to preach. That's why it all comes together. So, any other questions? Yes?
You have very bad communications and social skills. Is it then still possible to do
Yeah.
solution?
I mean, it's Krishna. Everything's possible. If the guy can hold up a hill, the thing is, right? We believe in all these pastimes, right? We believe that Krishna can hold up Giriraj, right? With one finger. We believe this without, like, we don't even, like, in one sense, it's quite insane that we don't even, there's no room in our head where this didn't happen. It's like, yeah, we totally believe this. We're like, yeah, this little boy lifted up a giant mountain, and we were like, we don't question it at all. We're like, yeah, but you know what we do question? If Krishna can lift our hearts out of material suffering. That we do question. We don't have faith in that. So he can lift up a mountain, but he can't lift our hearts out. So if we have like social skills or awkwardness and these things, there's still, like, Krishna can help. Like Krishna can empower you. Right? Because what you're saying is like, I can't be empowered. No, you can. It doesn't matter. Whatever problems you have, Krishna can help you overcome. He's the source of all intelligence. Right?
So it's just building faith in that.
Yeah, it's just building faith in what you're trying to present. And being real. Like if you have social like anxiety and things like that, it's not that you just ignore it. No, you try to work around those boundaries. You could do it. Yes.
What if you want to make a poster because there is an event coming soon or something, and you have to make a picture of somebody chanting or something like that? Does that also make it bad?
No. Excuse me, that makes it great. What I'm talking about is like falsely presenting yourself as a way that you're not. Putting a poster up with somebody chanting is amazing, right? Because people are benefiting just from seeing that. But setting up a whole like presentation to make yourself seem more advanced than what you really are, that's not honest. And we want to have honest exchanges with people. So if you set up a poster and you put somebody chanting on, Giriraj will love it. Giriraj will give you all the blessings that he has for doing that. And I want a copy of that poster for my temple room, if you make one. I would want one for my temple room. My Giriraj would love it. He would love to look at it every day. That's fine. But what we're talking about is like, is about being dishonest and trying to create an image and a profile, like trying to make ourselves like, oh, I'm so advanced, I'm so absorbed in chanting. No, you're absorbed in selfies. It's like, let's be honest. Like, that's the whole process, is about honesty and accepting that we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I've probably done a lot more bad than good in my life, but we try. But yeah, I want a copy of the poster. Okay? Anything else?
Maybe we can connect a little bit to the practical side of things, because as I was saying in the beginning, we are going to go out with some devotees, whoever are able. Some of us have some more experience, others less experience, but we want to do this this month as a community. Even maybe not all of us know each other so well, but to also create opportunity to come together, to have sadhu sangha. Like now the temple somehow it's being renovated, so it's an interesting coincidence. Nobody really knew this was happening. The temple will be locked for like a month, but it happens to be the marathon time. So I think Krishna said,
what a better way.
You just, go out.
Krishna kicked all you guys out of the house.
Yeah.
It was like when I was a kid. When I was a kid, on Saturday, my mother would be like, it's 7 a.m. She'd be like, get out of the house. Don't come back until the street lights come on. And then I would go to like Manhattan or something as like an 8-year-old. But Krishna did the same thing. Gorney Tyler was like, all right, guys, out of the house. Go do something constructive.
Into the streets, like share it. We're receiving so many nectarian gifts, every time we open a book or we take prasadam or we get a smile or a prayer of a devotee, we're so blessed, and there's a time of receiving and a time of sharing. Like you said, the love, love. Not, we don't have to say, oh, I'm preaching. No, giving love, being kind to people. They need it, we need it, and they need it too.
People are suffering.
Yeah.
Like, people are suffering in this world. I think the whole idea of book distribution can be summed up in one thing, is that we should develop honest, loving exchanges with others. Because by having honest, loving exchanges, they can escape the loneliness of the material world. And that's what we want. We want to create honest, loving exchanges so people don't feel alone and people feel loved and wanted. Because most people don't feel loved and wanted in this world. I would say like 98% of the world doesn't feel loved and wanted. Like, everyone, just by some scars, we all sometimes feel like we're not wanted. It's just the nature of the soul.
Especially if you suffer from mental disorders.
Yeah, I suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. Right, like after I was 14 years in the army, and I spent like 10 of those years in combat fighting, and I experienced all kinds of things. And I have my own mental health problems. I think you find me somebody in this society that doesn't have mental health problems, and I will give you whatever you want. Like, it is hard to find somebody who doesn't have some issue going on. I think it's very rare. So, yeah, we just have to connect to people. So, I think that you should all come together, distribute books. I'm going to come out one day. I'm going to come out of retirement.
Yeah.
I haven't distributed books in many years, so this will be funny. This will be a funny experience.
Yes.
Ooh, it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Well, it's like swimming or cycling.
It's like everything else. I get thrown in the deep end, and then we see what happens. It's like sink or swim, But let's see,
But it's even if we sink,
It's still mercy.
It's not lasting. And if you do it with a group, and remember we went one day in Leiden. He did what you suggested. He had bought this one box or maybe two of these Prahlad books. Remember?
Oh, those Prahlad books are nice.
Yeah, and we were like next to the station, or it was a fancy fair or something, and he was just saying, a bookje. Now, in 20 minutes it was finished.
That's it. Right? Everybody was like, "This guy just did Maha today." Everybody, he got the extra sweet rice.
People were saying yes, right? I mean, small book and not easy, difficult to carry.
Yeah.
How did you feel doing that?
No, I feel very good. It's no problem for me because old and I can give book free, and I can ask a free donation. If you want to give donation, it's okay. You don't give donation, no problem.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you pay for the box of books, then it really relieves a lot of the pressure. The BBT gets their money. Prabhupada said the BBT has to get their money to pay for the books, and it relieves that pressure of like having to ask a random guy on the street if they can give you money. Especially today, I mean, like people, who carries cash in today's society, like I don't even have a wallet, let alone cash. I just have a Ziploc bag I put all my stuff in. That's what I walk around with. Who has cash? Most people have like, cards or it's no, but I think that's like, if that's one way to approach it. I think you just have to experiment and see what everybody's comfortable with.
Also to encourage yourself. If you don't have that much experience, and you're grateful to see the Prabhupada, we're grateful. So we give gifts to so many people, things they don't even maybe want or need. The books are there. We know everybody can use them to some degree, or maybe if they don't use it, they can give it to someone else. So it's like it's better than Bitcoin. It's like really for everybody. It's the best investment. I mean, I have some experience together with others doing book distribution. I was trained in the temple. We just would go out. I now know that these were like precious years because it's not like that anymore.
No, now
we
it's
really have to like organize it ourselves.
Yeah, the congregation. It's now a congregational movement.
And a new thing what I've learned and say, you didn't give book, but you give mercy to them.
Yeah. That's the key. You just give the key is mercy.
Mercy.
But you must believe in yourself.
Well, no, you have to.
You are true, and then you can.
You have to believe in your faith in the process. That's like where the key is. So.
Yeah, very nice point.
Yeah, it's like, I think that you guys are gonna have a great marathon.
You guys?
Yeah.
We guys.
I mean, one day I'll be out. One day I'm in my own world. I'm in my own world with Giriraj.
Well, but maybe
I'm coming one day. I told you.
Kick you on the street now that he's heard everything.
Actually, one of my favorite pastimes, what I like to do, is I like when I get stopped by devotees. When I get stopped by devotees in the street that don't know I'm a devotee, I like to let them go through the whole thing and talk to me about Krishna. And sometimes then afterwards I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a devotee. Hey, Hare Krishna. After they've already told me their whole thing. And it's like quite nice because you see like their enthusiasm in these things.
Yes. Prabhu, you are talking about suffering. There was a ring Anam Sankirtan and we distribute books. But then the people, if you offer them a book, then I know they are suffering, but those people don't want to think about suffering. They even don't take the time to think, is there suffering? They want a nice dress, children, go shopping, these things. Thinking about suffering, they don't think, not all of them want to think about suffering. And if you give them a book, they don't believe that a book can change their life.
Yeah, of course not. Of course they don't believe in it. So because they're not engaged in it. Like it's not that they again, it's not their faith that they're taking the book from. They're taking the book based on your faith. Right? It's not that it's they have like all this sukriti in their heart and they're like, oh yes, I'm so pious, I'm gonna take this book. No, it's they look at you and they see your level of engagement, faith, your attachment, and they're taking the book based on what they see. Of course they don't think they're suffering, of course, like who thinks they're suffering in the material world? Everybody thinks it's a great time. But
they pretend.
Yeah, everybody pretends that everybody puts on this face that like they're all happy, but we all know what happens behind closed doors. Like people are sad. But of course, you're not. Their first experience with Krishna confirmed that it's time to have prasad. Like their first look at Krishna is through you. So you have to look at it, you have to see it that way. It's not about them. If we had to wait for them to be at the level that they understood they were suffering, then we would not do anything. We probably wouldn't even be engaged in Krishna consciousness. But we're coming and we're seeing people, and then their first connection to Krishna is what they see in us.
That's nice.
Okay, I think.
So as you were saying, we have to kind of wind up the.
Got to shut it down.
I want to bring to everyone's attention